What's up, Taiwan? I'm Yvonne Yang with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Radio Taiwan International, a government-funded radio station, has seen a spate of apparent cyber attacks, something experts say could present a national security risk. Cadence Coranta reports.
In September, this website of a government-funded radio station in Taiwan was apparently hacked. Its homepage banner temporarily replaced with the flag of the People's Republic of China, which claims Taiwan as its territory, a claim Taiwan rejects. It didn't stop there. Radio Taiwan International, or RTI, which the government considers among Taiwan's, quote, critical infrastructure, said it saw repeated cyber attacks around the clock for several days. The case is still under investigation, but prosecutors say the attacks appear to be an inside job. At least 2 of the station's employees were taken into custody and then bailed, though the bail has been appealed. The news prompting Taiwan's culture minister to urge more attention to be paid to public media.
作为一个公共媒体啊，包括央广或者是中央社或者公共电视，我觉得他们的这个从业人员应该用更高的道德标准来看，而且我也呼吁大家对于公共媒体多一些关心跟多一些资源。
One expert says the incident reveals a potential national security weakness in the event of war with China, as public media are important for getting information out.
我想，如果说一旦国家媒体被渗透了、被掌握了，那万一将来如果不幸两岸有任何冲突，我们需要借助这样的一个平台去做正确资讯的传播的时候，那恐怕就会完全被敌人掌握，然后是破坏，然后断绝我们内部的一个联系。
The expert also says there's a possibility China could be involved, but it does not appear there's any evidence of that yet. For now, the motivations of the individuals concerned have yet to be revealed, and the investigation still ongoing. Chris Ma and Cadence Coranta for TaiwanPlus.
The death of a flight attendant who complained of feeling unwell has drawn national attention to labor policies in Taiwan's aviation industry. Our reporter Leslie Liao looks at the latest scandal rocking EVA Air.
The October 10th death of a local flight attendant, surnamed Sun, has triggered investigations in Taiwan. Sun had been hospitalized on September 26th, the day after returning to Taiwan on a flight from Italy. During that flight, she continued working despite feeling unwell. Now, both her employer, Taiwan's EVA Airways, and the Labor Ministry are investigating her death. The question? Whether Sun died because of workplace failures.
长荣航空的违法的记录的确不少那我们认为，公司应该要诚恳地面对基层员工的声音和需求，好好的和工会来协商。
2 unions representing EVA employees have spoken out against the airline's policies. They say that the company discourages people from asking for time off on short notice, as it could affect their performance reviews and flexibility in changing their shift schedule. Those policies may have deterred Sun from taking sick leave when she needed it.
大家看到这个组员的状况，他的住院这段时间跨及了中秋连假，以及他在过世的时候是双十连假。一个空服员如果他是在中秋连假或双十连假的时候生病，不一定是住院，只要生病就好。他当时的考绩就会被加重扣分。
基本上就是你请了事假、病假，以及不是预排的临时特休，就会记录这个数字里面。比如说3个月4次，那你如果达到这个数字的话，你就会被剥夺掉你的选班跟调班的权利。
The cabin manager during Sun's last flight has also come under scrutiny. The Civil Aviation Administration says that the cabin manager's report filed after the trip did not say that Sun felt ill during her flight, a detail that should have been included.
以一个这样的事情来讲，是很明确、很严重的一件事。其实一定要载入客舱报告。
The cabin manager has since come out with a statement defending herself, saying that she knew that Sun did not feel well and she checked in on her throughout the flight. She says that it's unfair to assign responsibility of Sun's death to her and that she will take legal action if necessary. EVA Airways did not respond to a request for comment. Sun's family held a memorial service for her on Tuesday. They say they won't press charges against EVA for now, but they have urged the company to rethink its work culture. Scott Huang, Eason Chen, and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
China has announced it will begin charging additional port fees for U.S.-owned, operated, built, or flagged ships starting on Tuesday. The tit-for-tat move follows U.S.-imposed fees on Chinese ships docking at U.S. ports that go into effect the same day. Both sides have laid out roadmaps where fees would increase until April 2028. It's the latest escalation in trade tensions between the two countries, including new Chinese export controls on rare earths and a threat from U.S. President Donald Trump to impose additional 100% tariffs on Chinese goods. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says those new export controls from Beijing are a miscalculation, but he indicated that a meeting this month between U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping is still on track.
Maybe it was a mistaken attempt to try to gain leverage before the two leaders meet in Korea in October. And I can tell you, trying to get leverage in front of a meeting with Donald Trump is a bad idea. It was a miscalculation, but we are communicating now. I am confident that we can move forward.
Bessent made the comments on Fox Business Network's Mornings with Maria. It comes after Trump said that a planned meeting with Xi at the APEC summit in South Korea was no longer necessary, though Trump later walked back the remarks. The back and forth between the two countries on trade has roiled Asian markets. On Tuesday, China's Commerce Ministry said that the U.S. should demonstrate sincerity in trade discussions and work with China to meet it halfway. The U.S. has condemned Beijing's recent actions in the South China Sea after a confrontation between Chinese and Philippine Coast Guard ships near an island controlled by Manila. Cadence Coranta reports.
This is the moment, Manila says, when a Chinese Coast Guard ship fired its water cannon at a Philippine ship in the South China Sea and later deliberately rammed it. The incident prompting stern words from the U.S., a key ally of the Philippines, which called China's moves dangerous and said its increasingly coercive actions to advance its territorial claims in the South China Sea undermine regional stability. Taiwan also weighed in.
对于中方在南海海域的作为，严重影响区域的和平与稳定，更直接影响危害到非方海事人员的人身安全。这些强势的行径，外交部要表达严正的关切。同时，外交部也密切关注当前南海相关岛屿的争端，并且呼吁各方保持克制。
The clash happened near Philippine-controlled T2 Island, which Manila calls Pagasa. It's part of the Spratly Islands, which China claims as its territory, along with most of the South China Sea, despite an international court ruling that those claims have no legal basis. Taiwan also claims the Spratlys, as do a number of other countries. Manila says its Coast Guard ships were anchored near the island as part of a government program to protect local fishers when Chinese ships approached and began trying to intimidate them. But Beijing is accusing Manila of being the instigator, saying Philippine vessels dangerously approached its ship, prompting it to take action.
事实再次证明，非方在海上蓄意侵权挑衅，是导致局势紧张的根源。中方敦促非方立即停止侵权挑衅和煽宣炒作，不要挑战中方维护自身领土主权和海域权益的坚定决心。
It's just the latest confrontation between the two countries in the disputed South China Sea. And with allies like the U.S. standing behind the Philippines and China pledging not to back down, the fight over what both see as their territory doesn't look likely to end anytime soon. Dolphine Chen and Cadence Coranta for TaiwanPlus.
Last week, the U.S. Senate passed the 2026 National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA, which includes several types of support for Taiwan. Senators also strongly urged the government to invite Taiwan to the RIMPAC military exercises and clear the way for up to $1 billion in defense aid. The House submitted its own version in September, and now the two chambers need to reconcile the two before sending it to the U.S. president to sign or veto. For more, our reporter Larry Isiano spoke to Liu Fuguo, a professor at National Zhengzhi University.
Based on what is currently available, what are the primary differences between the Senate and the House version of this year's NDAA?
The Senate basically has proposed to invite Taiwan to be part of RIMPAC 2026. So this may be the major differences between the House and also between the Senate. And I consider during the discussion and debate back in September, the House actually proposed through these Republican congressmen proposed to cut off the military assistance to Ukraine as well as Taiwan. But this proposal altogether were rejected.
Do you expect the Taiwan-related parts of the NDAA to make it through negotiations without meaningful changes?
There has been a lot of discussion over the last few years. But because this is really in between the White House and Chinese government, so this actually shows a very strong political gestures. Of course, for Taiwanese, we just hope that there would be possibilities to be invited to RIMPAC.
If it were to happen, what would Taiwan's participation in the RIMPAC naval exercise mean?
If Taiwan would be able to be invited to RIMPAC, it would actually lift up the level of such a coordination just among our Air Force and the Navy, but also in time of difficulty. I'm not saying in time of conflict. Taiwan will be able to quickly connect with our airlines and friends in the region. So from my professional perspective, this is all the more important to strengthen ROC Navy as well as ROC Air Force. But of course, there is an extra political implication.
What is something that you're monitoring in this year's NDAA that you think is important for the future of U.S.-Taiwan collaboration and engagement on these issues?
From those proposals released by the media, at least through this defense industrial collaboration, since Taiwan is standing at the center of a global supply chain. And this is all the more important, not just for business, but also connecting with this defense industry collaboration. I thought through the discussion proposed by the Senate, this would be very different from the previous years, and that would have such a long-term effect to facilitate, deepen the relations between the U.S. and Taiwan, especially not just technology, but also more on defense industry.
That was Liu Fuguo from National Zhengzhi University. After 184 days, the Expo 2025 World Fair has wrapped up with a lights-out ceremony in Osaka, Japan. Tech World, a Taiwanese pavilion at the Osaka Expo, drew over 1.1 million visitors from more than 60 countries, and it won bronze in the Best Exhibitor Display category. The World Expo Olympics program, the organization behind the award, praised the pavilion's live theater exhibit for its outstanding quality and creativity. Gold went to the Nordic Circle Pavilion, while Poland's pavilion took silver. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Before you go, enjoy some highlights from the World Conquer Championships in the UK. I'm Yvonne Yang. Take care, and I'll see you next time.